channel. I'm Rainey, and today we are going to talk about my February plans and TBR. So let's just get right into it because it's late, my lighting is bad, and who knows how long my post-work brain is going to be able to handle telling you all this stuff. So I will be participating in 2 readathons in the month of February. The first one is FebRegency, which is, as the name suggests, a readathon where we will read Regency era literature or historical fiction set in Regency era. And if you're thinking, what is the Regency era? Think Jane Austen, think the romantic poets like the Shelleys, Byron, that kind of thing. So I will link all the hosts down below, and I also will be participating in the We Love Jenny readathon. And this is a readathon to memorialize our friend Jennifer Brooks from BookTube here. She had a wonderful channel where she discussed many different types of books, but she was very into classics, and one of her favorite eras was the Regency period, and most specifically the romantics from that kind of are encased in the Regency era. This readathon is put on by Christy Lewis from Christy Lewis Dostoevsky in Space, and Tiffany from The Beautiful Minutia. And I will link both of their announcement videos for the We Love Jenny readathon down below. I think that just participating even in FebRegency will just be a great way to honor Jenny because, like I said, Jenny loved the Regency era, and she was even a former co-host of FebRegency. So I think basically anything that you pick for FebRegency, if you are participating, could be in honor of Jenny. So it's a great loss to our community, and yeah, I just really wanted to be part of that readathon to honor her. So let's just get into all the books that I plan to read for these 2 readathons. The one that I am reading specifically for the We Love Jenny readathon is the group read, The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. I don't know anything about this. I believe that this was Jennifer's favorite book of 2023. So I feel like we have to read it. And this, like I said, is the group read for the readathon. So that's going to probably be one of my first picks. I think I am going to listen to it on audio. It sounds like it is kind of a mystery or something to that effect. So I could be totally wrong. I don't know anything about this, but yeah, I'm excited to read this one and to see what Jennifer's favorite book of 2023 is like. Now, the next few books are books that I am reading specifically for FebRegency, but also that will remind me of Jennifer because they are all either authors or specifically books that she has talked about in her videos, and especially the authors she really, that I have on this list, she has talked up and really enjoyed, and even some of the actual books I've heard specifically her talking about. So the first book is not actually by a Regency author, but it is about Mary Shelley and her mother, Mary Wollstonecraft. And that book is Romantic Outlaws by Charlotte Gordon, I believe is the name. I'll put a picture up here. I actually have that at the library right now, but I didn't have a chance to go get it today. So, but I probably will read it via audiobook and just follow along in the book because it is very long. Um, and yeah, just the amount of books I have on my list is going to make it very hard for me to not listen to audiobooks at all this month. um, but yeah, she really, Jennifer really raved about Romantic Outlaws and just the portrayal of Mary Shelley and her mother. And she said that when anybody else she's heard read or talk about this book, uh, either identifies more with Mary Wollstonecraft and the mother or Mary Shelley, the daughter. And I'm interested to see which one I identify with more. Keeping with the Mary Shelley vibe, I am going to read Frankenstein. I don't think that I have ever read Frankenstein. I can't really remember specifically ever reading it. Of course, everybody kind of knows the story just from, you know, history and like pop culture and things like that, but I don't know that I've ever specifically read the book. So I decided that I am going to read this one this month. So I was rewatching a lot of Jennifer's videos in preparation for FebRegency, and Frankenstein she likes it, but she said it is not her, or she likes other ones better, I guess I should say. But I figured I should start with the one that is most popular. So that's why I'm going to go with this with Frankenstein. But hopefully, if I like it, I can move on and read some of the other things by her, especially if I'm going to read a whole biography on Mary Shelley. I'm probably going to get interested in reading the rest of her works. The next book that I want to try is one that I tried, I believe, last year for FebRegency and DNF'd. And that is Ivanho by Sir Walter Scott. Now, I'm thinking that the reason that I DNF'd it before was I was listening to it on audiobook, and it is a very interesting writing style. It is set in medieval times, and partly it is told in kind of like Elizabethan, Shakespearean type language when it's like dialogue, I guess. And but the rest of it is not. So it was just kind of jarring, and I was listening to it, and sometimes when I listen to audiobooks and I'm trying to do other things, it does not work out. So I think that was why Ivanhoe did not gel with me the first time. But I'm going to try again. I'm thinking that if maybe I sit down with, if I listen to it this time, I do have the physical book on hold at the library as well. But if I decide to listen to this as well, I'm going to just like sit down and just cross stitch or knit or something and listen to the book, and maybe that will like keep my mind free to focus on what is happening. That's my plan. So yeah, hopefully I will like it better this time, because also, and this is totally sort of unrelated, but I tried to read Ivanhoe because I love the Betsy Tacy series, and Betsy reads Ivanhoe in one of the books and loves it. So I'm like, I love Betsy. I need to love Ivanhoe. So we're going to try it again. And the next one that I want to try to read for FebRegency is Belinda by Mariah Edgeworth. This is the group read for FebRegency, and I don't think that I talked to Emma about getting in on her Discord group, but I'm going to have to do that. I am really bad at Discord. Really bad. So I was like, oh, I'd probably never even do it, but I should at least try. So, but if nothing else, I'm going to read Belinda. I don't really know anything about Belinda. Uh, I, is it an epistolary novel? I feel like a lot of Regency era um, novels were written by women or epistolary, but I don't know that for sure. I know Evelina was, which I read when I first started BookTube. Um, and then I think, I don't know, I read another one. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm interested to try another Regency era authoress who is not Jane Austen. So, I mean, obviously I'm reading Mary Shelley, but Mary Shelley and Jane Austen are like completely different types of authors, I feel. So, yeah, I'm feeling like Mariah Edgeworth, I believe she was maybe friends with Jane Austen or just like a an influence to Jane Austen. So I feel like they will be a little bit more similar than maybe Mary Shelley was, but we'll see. I'm excited to read it. And the last thing that I want to try to read is kind of both for the We Love Jenny readathon and FebRegency, which, I mean, they all are basically both for me. But I want to try to find The Sensi, I think is how you say it, by Percy Shelley. This is a play, and originally it was going to be kind of like a group read as well for FebRegency, but they decided, or no, they were going to do like a live play reading of it. But they decided with Jenny's passing that they just didn't really have it in them to do that, which I totally understand. But Christy is still going to read it, and I would also like to read it as well. So maybe we can kind of like, loosely buddy read it together. But oh, that was something that I forgot to talk to you about as well. I also decided that I wanted to do Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day. I wanted to try to do her DIY lit degree. And at first I was like, it was way too overwhelming. And I was like, I already have like a real lit degree. I don't need to do it again. But I was talking to some friends on Instagram that aren't booktubers. They're actually my cross-stitch friends. But they watch booktube and they like to read. And they were going to be doing this. So they showed me like their syllabi, I guess. And they kept talking to me about it. And they're like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? I was like, fine, I'll do it. So then I think this may have started after I already knew that Jennifer had passed away. So I decided that my era for like the way Chantel is doing it is you pick a time period, an era, and then you pick a like a concentration, and then you pick a mentor. So my era is going to be the Regency era and the Romantics, which I guess I could do anyway. My concentration, or she called it something else, but the concentration that I am going to do is theater. So, because I used to act a lot and I have a minor in theater in real life. And so I just decided that would be to closely mirror my real life degrees. I would do theater as my concentration or my minor. So anyway, all of that was to say, man, this is getting rambly, that I want to read The Sensi because Jenny liked it and because it is a play and it would work well for my DIY lit degree. So yeah. Now, I also have some non-FebRegency related books that I am going to read in the month of February. The first one is The Notting Hill Mystery, which I forget who this is by, so I will have a picture of it up here. But this is going to be for Kate Howe's Victorian Patreon group, Victorian Novel Patreon group. um, I thought it sounded interesting. I really, at this moment, cannot even remember what it's about. So I can't tell you. But I think at the time that we were voting on them, I thought it sounded interesting. Plus, it is definitely because I can't even remember who it's by a Victorian author that I have never heard of. So, um, so yeah, I'm excited to read that one, and it's short, so I think it'll be a fun read to read later in the month after I've been reading like giant novels for the entire month. The next book that I am going to be reading is the Candlelight Calamity by London Levitt. This is going to be an arc that I have already received on ebook from the Frostfall Island mystery series by London Levitt. So I am really excited to get to reading that, and it will come out on, I believe, February 19th. If I'm wrong, I'll put it below. But this one comes out in the middle of the month at some point. So I better get on that. I think that's going to be one of my first reads in February, since I have an ebook copy, and sometimes ebooks are hard for me to read, to just sit down and read for some odd reason. So better get to it first in case it kind of takes me a while. The next non-FebRegency read I have is These Happy Golden Years by Laura Ingalls Wilder. I have been rereading this series with my friend Amy from Amy's Bookish Life. This is the last book in my set that I have, but apparently there is one more that I don't have in these particular editions, but I'll have to find it somewhere, I guess. So this might not actually be a reread for me. I may have kind of aged out of these when I was originally reading the books, because I don't really remember it. But this one I'm assuming, is going to go through the courtship of Laura and Almanzo Wilder. So we're very excited to read through this and kind of have a little closure to the life story of the Wilders. And the last book that I have on my February TBR, and if I have missed something, if I'm supposed to buddy read something with you, then let me know, because I've probably forgotten something on my list. But anyway, the last book I have on my radar for February is The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Krista from Books and Jams is doing a read-along series of Christian books throughout the year, and she asked me if I wanted to be a part of the first one in February for Screwtape Letters. So I had already ordered a copy of the book before she asked me, because I did definitely want to read it, and I love these copies. I have a copy of Mere Christianity in this edition, so I kind of want to start collecting the C.S. Lewis books in these covers, because I really love them. So also, the DIY Lit degree. My original mentor was an author that I actually had pretty much read everything by already. So I kind of felt like that was cheating, and I was kind of thinking I probably wouldn't go back and reread them already, even though it's an author that I loved. But so I decided, even though I'm kind of copying Chantel in this, I am going to pick C.S. Lewis as my mentor for this and try to read a lot of his works that I have not read yet, because I realized in talking with one of my coworkers who has read everything by C.S. Lewis, except for maybe one thing. I think he hadn't read Pilgrim's Regress, which I have not either. But I was going through a list of all his books. He's like, "Yep, read it. Yep, read it. Yep." So I was like, "Darn it!" But anyway, I realized I haven't read a lot of C.S. Lewis. So I actually have read the Screwtape Letters before, but it was a long time ago, and I like remember the general premise, but I don't remember like specifics, and I also don't really remember loving it. I remember being kind of confused by a lot of it. So it was probably, though, when I was in college that I read it. So I'm hoping that maybe I'm a little smarter now. Maybe, I don't know. And I could maybe get a little bit more out of this. So we'll see. And I forgot to tell you, with Happy Golden Years, I'm going to be reading this during the days of the Little House Readathon that is happening from the 7th through the 10th of February. And it is hosted by Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books and Naomi from Naomi's Bookshelf, and I think Lindsay from Lindsay Reads. So I will link, there's going to be a lot of linking down in the description of this. So my friend Amy and I decided that we are going to read this during the days. It's only a 4-day readathon, so it'll probably take us this long to read through this book because we like to read them, a little bit at a time. So, so yeah, that is going to be another readathon that I'm participating in. Okay, so that was all that I am going to be reading this month. So we have FebRegency, we have We Love Jenny, we have Little House Readathon, and we have Krista's, which I don't know what she's calling it, but her Christian book read along. So lots of stuff going on during the shortest month of the year, even though we have an extra day in there this year. But just real quick, I was going to talk about like personal goals and everything in this too, but I rambled. Shocked, I know. But crafty goal of mine, if you've been around for any length of time, you know that I love cross stitch and knitting as like another hobby of mine. But because I have so much reading to do in February that I want to prioritize, I decided I'm going to pare down my my crafting. And while it will fulfill one of the prompts of doing of participating in some kind of Regency activity, because I know needlework was big in Regency era. So I will be doing that, but I'm going to, I think, focus on just one or two projects throughout the year or throughout the month of February, so that I can have more time to just sit down and read with my eyeballs, hopefully, instead of always listening to audiobooks. So that is the crafting goal, is to keep my crafting to a minimum in the month of February. Don't go overboard. Prioritize my reading. And then personal goals. One of them is to exercise more in the month of February. I was sick a couple of times in January and just couldn't get it together to work out with any kind of consistency. Plus, it's cold. I usually walk a lot, and I just have not been walking a lot because it's cold here, people. So I haven't been doing that. So I want to get back to working out more consistently in February. And also, I decided I'm going to do the minimalist game in February. I think that's what it's called. I don't even know who started this, but it's one of those decluttering challenges where you declutter an object per whatever day of the month it is. So like on the 1st, you just declutter one item. On the 29th this year, because there's 29 days, you will declutter 29 items. I'm thinking, though, that I am going to do this in reverse order. So I think tomorrow I'm going to declutter 29 items and work my way down to one item. Because I feel like, and this is probably totally defeating the challenge, But I feel like at the end of the month, you are less motivated. And at the beginning of the month, you are more motivated. I already have a bunch of things set out in my bedroom that I want to declutter. So there might be 29 things there already. So I may just do 29 items tomorrow and work my way down. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but yeah, so those are my plans just for the month of February, just for 29 days. We got like 11 books. We've got decluttering. We've got exercising. and, and we've got crafting. So busy month. I am probably going to go crazy. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. It's all in good fun. So I hope you will be joining me for FebRegency, for the We Love Jenny Readathon. Anything else? Tell me. Tell me what you are doing for February. All right, friends. I am going to end it here. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.